guys and gals? Now we're here from Drake Wing Gaming, and some of you man on Twitter, the Gaming Dragon. Today I'm coming back at you another Let's Play episode of Violent Memoir, Oscar's Path. So yeah, before we jump into it, just wanted to let y'all know that our Patreon is now for as little as $5. Y'all can help support the channel, get some awesome rewards like permanent access to our community Discord server and full access to upcoming Not Safe for Work videos. Anyway, y'all, let's go ahead and jump right back in. Alarm chain, you are up, and let's go. Okay. Yeah, the poor guy would have a heart attack. I thought he would have eaten this. He doesn't seem like the type to eat fast food. He's missing out. There's nothing like a bad burger after you've spent the day at the gym. That sounds counterproductive. You bet it is. Oscar gives my shoulder one final pat before he shuffles away to get in line behind the single person ordering, leaving Lee and me behind. The possum is sifting through his wallet with an unsure furrow on his brow. Whatever he found or didn't find, it didn't bring him much peace. But he catches my eyes on him, and his face returns back to its usual unreadable neutrality. He probably doesn't want me to worry, but I've already seen enough. He's already got patrons glaring at him from their seats. One parent even covers her son's eyes and forces him to look away. Thankfully, their attention doesn't linger on him for too long before they're staring wide-eyed at the colossus of an otter standing in front of us. Do you have enough money? I'll be fine. The way you were looking at your wallet isn't very reassuring. I'm just getting something for Charlie. There's stuff at home that I can eat. Don't stress about it, man. It'll be my shout. I can pay for myself. Come on, man. I'm the one who asked everyone to come, so it's only fair that I pay. Haven't we all been through too much to be worrying about cash right now? Lee shuts his eyes and sighs, a much heavier one than I've heard today. He sounds defeated, and the look of his eyes is sadder than I expected. I get the feeling he isn't fond of asking for help, especially not from Oscar. Thank you. My budget is tight. I don't get to have much free money to spend outside of necessities. I told you, don't stress about it. My scholarship isn't a full ride, but it lets me be a little loose with my cash. You should be saving up. Oscar only releases a large bellow, one loud enough that the single person ahead of us stops his order to gape back at the hulk behind him. The cashier has to call out to him to get his attention back on his order. With how much our group has gotten used to being around Oscar, it's easy to forget that to most people, this guy is already a giant with his height alone. When you factor in his muscles, he looks like a Photoshop model. Saving up is for after college. Right now, we should focus on having fun, right? What's the point of saving up money if we don't have time to use it? Lay opens his mouth to argue, but thinks better of it. Or maybe he's just not in the mood for an argument right now. If the quiet rumbling I hear from his stomach is any indication, I think he cares much more about the food. So, what do you dudes want? Just let me know and you guys can go sit at the table. Make sure there's enough room for Selwyn, too. That little dude will be here any minute. The order ended up bigger than I expected, and that was without Oscar and Selwyn's additions. I was hesitant about coming to this cheap place before, but I'm glad. I feel awful about making him pay for me if we were anywhere else. Lee has been quiet ever since we left Oscar at the front desk. He's got a faraway look in his eyes, and he stares unfocused at the wall. Everything okay? Yeah, kid, everything's fine. Just stuck in my head. Thinking about what happened? No, about him buying the food for us. He didn't need to do that. I'm pretty sure he just likes seeing his friends happy. You're his friend, too. He meets my eyes and a smile peeks across his stoic facade. It's hard to act cool towards someone when they're treating you to dinner. Yeah, I know. He's not that bad. I just don't approve of some of the things he does. He needs to be a little more responsible. But he means well, right? He can't be that bad. Look, kid, you gotta look out for yourself and keep him in check. I can tell he's the type to not take care of himself and acts without thinking. I don't want you getting hurt by some thoughtless thing that he does. I want to brush him off as being too harsh on Oscar, but the encounter with the Otters coach has me hesitating. From the sounds of it, Oscar's overworking himself to the point where his place on the team is being threatened. I will. I know you will. You're sweet. You just need to make sure you stand your ground. You guys talking about me? I can feel my ears burning. What? Okay, I guess we're just walking in here with very little clothes on. He's wearing a large smile, but there's a tension in his form that makes it clear that he's not entirely comfortable. The occasional glances at the people around us only help to confirm this. Second, y'all. Water time. Water time, not otter time. Oh god, so good. Okay. This is Selwyn. Wallace has already met him, but I know you haven't. Papa Bear. He's mute, but don't let that worry you. The guy's a total attention whore. Selwyn elbows Oscar for taking a step away to cross his arms in protest, though his smile does little to hide his enjoyment. I don't think he's supposed to be almost naked. No one seems to be reacting to that. My guess is that that might be a bug? It's nice to meet you. Oscar's mentioned you before. Holding his hand out, Lee gives one of his rare full-fledged smiles. It's clear he's trying to make the thin male more comfortable with minimal success. He ends up staring at the hand before looking up at the otter with a plea for help and guidance. Oscar gives me a gentle nudge and nods towards the possum. It's okay, I told you, these guys are great. Papa Bear might look scary, but he's a teddy bear. Now Grumpy is much scarier. He's the fox I told you about. Lay looks offended by the statement, but Selwyn takes it at face value, reaching out to reciprocate the shake, a smile quickly covering his face. Now, let's sit down. We don't want the grub going cold. He lifts up the large bags of food that I'd totally forgotten about. They look gigantic and much more than what's needed for 4 people. It could feed multiple families. Oscar nudges Selwyn towards Lay, and despite his earlier apprehension, he doesn't hesitate to climb in next to the possum. In fact, he flashes a large smile and his tail whips back and forth against the back cushion. Don't look so surprised, as Selwyn warms to people real fast. I told you, this guy's a menace. He's always willing to lay down the charm. That gets a chuckle out of Lay, and he can only roll his eyes with a silent sigh as Oscar shoves himself into the booth with me. There's barely enough room for the 2 of us. I have to press against the wall to avoid being squished up against the otter. Not that that was ever an option. The moment he catches me doing so, he wraps an arm around my shoulder and pulls me against him. I'd almost gotten so used to this. If it wasn't for our shared muscular issues, I wouldn't be able to notice his scent. Unfortunately, he reeks, and it's beginning to get more noticeable as while neither of the other 2 makes any comment on it. I can see their noses wrinkling. It's only for a moment before they return to normal, but it's enough that Oscar lets out a bellowing laugh. Yeah, sorry. Usually I'd go for a swim around now and have a shower, but I doubt Wallace here would have wanted to go for a dip after today. Not tonight, at least. I think I've had enough water for a full lifetime. His reaction is so subtle I barely notice it, but there's a sag to Oscar's shoulders at my comment. It's clear that he really wanted to take me swimming sometime soon. No, it's not like that was that bad. The others are right. If the others are right, then it wasn't even real. I'm not sure how much I believe that, but I don't want to let something like this win and make me afraid of water forever. Now that it's past and we're all sitting together, it feels so silly to be hung up about something like that, even if the memories of it still run a chill down my spine. But if you want, we can go to the pool tomorrow? The way that he brightens up and makes whatever happens tomorrow completely worth it. Selwyn looks just as excited, and even Lay is smiling a little, though he's trying not to be too obvious about it. But if the way Oscar's smile curls further into a smile as he meets with the possum's eyes is any indication, he didn't get away with it. It sounds amazing, man! You can meet all the boys and take a dip. All the boys? The team. They'll be practicing there in the afternoon. We can make a whole day out of it. Doesn't that sound like fun? Selwyn looks just as excited, nodding his head with enough enthusiasm that Lay looks genuinely concerned he might hurt himself. Now let's calm down. It sounds like a great time, but Wallace, are you sure? From what you've said before, it didn't sound like you had an experience with water. Everyone's attention turns to me. Selwyn mostly in confusion, but concern and intrigue are spread across not only Lee's face, but Oscar's as well. Yeah, man, I'm excited to show it all off for you, but I wouldn't want you to force yourself for my sake. There's a ton more we can do. Water time. He accentuates it with a wink and his signature grin. Any sign of that solemn look he had before has completely disappeared. The little glint in his eye changed to concern. No, really, I want to. I think it'll be a fun time. Like Lily said, we can't let what happened dictate our lives. Odds are it'll never happen again. Why stress out about it? The squinting glare from Lee is almost scarier than anything that I experienced in that dream or whatever it was. He doesn't believe me. I'm not sure I believe myself. Well, if you change your mind, just let me know. You don't gotta appease me, man. I'll live. The only response I can give is a nod, and the silence that follows is almost suffocating. This has been the quietest we've been since Selwyn and Oscar arrived. What interrupts the silence isn't Oscar or Lee, but Selwyn, who is trying to reach over the table to get to the food that the otter is still hoarding in front of himself. Sorry, man, I totally forgot. Here, let's all dig in and we'll deal with that whole mess later. To everyone's delight, even Lee, the bags are divided up between the group of us, with Oscar's being much larger than the rest. I'm left in awe at the size of the burger he pulls out from the bag. It looks like it contains 3 patties, let alone the multiple buns and all the other ingredients. Lee looks just as shocked as me, his open bag forgotten in the wake of the monster being shoved into the otter's mouth. For his part, Selwyn has no reaction and is already eating his own large burger. It's nowhere near the size of Oscar's, but it's still bigger than anything I've eaten before. My eyes meet with Lee's, and I can tell we're both thinking the same thing. We're surrounded by monsters. I'm barely able to focus on the fries I'm nibbling on. The morbid curiosity keeps my focus on the 2 of them devouring their food as if it couldn't feed a small family. It wasn't until he pulls out a second burger that Lee chokes on his burger, having to smack his chest to dislodge it. He never takes his eyes off the otter, his expression a mixture of disbelief, awe, and disgust. Jesus Christ. What? Oscar barely takes time to finish chewing his mouthful of food before talking, and Selwyn doesn't pay us any attention. His focus solely on the burger in his hands. That burger is bigger than your friend's head. How are you eating too? Hey, man, I'm burning a lot of calories a day. I need to eat big to keep these bad boys. Shouldn't you be eating proper meals then? Not this crap. Come on, Mom. It's just one day and we're having a good time, right? He shoves my shoulder, and despite myself, I can't stop the giggles from leaving my chest. He joins with a burst of uproarious laughter that catches the attention of the tables next to us. Even Selwyn's joining in with a bouncing smile. The sudden rise in attention in our direction doesn't look to bother him at all, though I doubt he's noticed it with how lost in the atmosphere he is. Lee flashes me a look of betrayal, but the smile teasing the edge of his lips makes his real feelings no secret. It's hard for him to even be annoyed with how light the mood has become. I wonder if this was intentional on Oscar's part, if he's just naturally able to lift everyone up after the hell we just went through. It's hard to believe how terrified I felt only an hour ago. I couldn't thank him enough for everything he's done. The rest of the meal went as expected, though Oscar got told off by one of the staff for being too loud. The other tables stopped paying attention to us eventually, though it's clear some of them were annoyed or jealous of how much fun Oscar and Selwyn were having. Lee tried to prod Oscar for how expensive the meal had been, hoping he would be able to pay the otter back, but he didn't budge an inch. He said it wouldn't be right to take your money, man. You got a sister to take care of. Lee stopped pestering him about that, especially after Oscar gave him a fresh bag he sneakily ordered near the end of their meal so Charlie's portion could be fresh and hot. He left shortly after that, but not after Oscar tried to convince him to stay for a while longer, at least for some ice cream. But Lee was adamant that he needed to get back before his sister raids the fridge. Now it's just Oscar, Selwyn, and myself. I am not going to get over Selwyn just basically standing there mostly naked. That's so funny. Our little group is walking back to the apartment, and despite Selwyn's inability to talk, the energy between the three of us is higher than it's ever been. I have expected Selwyn to still be a little nervous around me, but ever since we left Burger Jr., he's been almost climbing all over me. He may not speak, but I feel like he doesn't need to show how expressive he is. He wants to know what you think of his outfit. It's a brand new hoodie. It's a brand new hoodie, huh? A brand new hoodie, right? That's what that is? Yeah. Brand new hoodie. I was wondering where that came from. You didn't tell me you went shopping, man. Should have invited me. You know. Tea time. I say tea, but it's brisk. It's not really tea. It's more like lighter soda. As with any time he has to respond, Selwyn tugs on Oscar's shirt to signal for the huge otter to squat down. It's hard not to notice how much his calves bulge as he does, especially with the way he flicks his eyes to watch my gaze. The moment the lion starts whispering into his ear, though, his focus is immediately redirected. He treats this so genuinely, without a shred of shame or awkwardness. Their friendship runs deeper than I thought. Really? She gave you that? No wonder it doesn't fit you. Look at you, Sly Dog. Oscar all but grasps Selwyn's entire head in his palm as he messes up his hair, much to the lion's dismay. The flush on his face makes what they're talking about more than clear. Don't worry, it looks great on you, right, Wallace? Huh? Oh, yeah, it looks great on you. I'm a little jealous of your body. I'm only thin because I'm a weasel. You look seriously fantastic. To say his face lights up would be an understatement. Not only does his smile beam and his eyes sparkle, but his ears turn to such a deep shade of pink that my own begin to mirror them. He whispers something else into Oscar's ear. Something that makes the otter snicker. The blush burning beneath his fur doesn't diminish. If anything, it gets worse. Oh yeah, I keep trying to tell him that, but he doesn't believe me. What did he say? Don't worry about it. That just makes me more suspicious, but from the way they're acting, I'm not sure I can handle hearing it. I'm already feeling the heat rush to my face as it is. Then, seemingly out of nowhere, Selwyn rushes up to me and grabs my arm. He's gesturing off in the distance, and I'm confused as to where he's dragging me off to, until I see it coming into view in the distance. I didn't realize it, but heading back to my apartment building from Burger Jr.'s takes you past the beach. Despite being autumn, there are still people playing in the orange-tinted water. There's a sinking feeling at the thought of going there, but the way the lion's expression positively glows at its presence makes me not want to interrupt his face. Okay now, I'm not the kind of guy to turn down a good swim, but Wallace and I just had a big day. I don't think we're up for a dip right now. Oscar's presence is a blessing as he comes up behind the two of us, pulling us against him in one large group hug. Despite his best efforts, the lion still deflates. But if he's down for it, we can chill on the rocks while you have a quick dive. I heard that practice today and a lot less swimming and a whole lot more training. Is that right? Is that all right, Wallace? Alright, y'all, I'm going to go ahead and pause it right there. Thank y'all so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, ring that notification bell, and check out our Patreon if you can. It always helps. Anyway, I love you all. I'll see y'all in the next video. Bye-bye!